Hey everybody, David the AI Guide here. Welcome to another episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Also, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And also click the link below for your free resource. It's a beginner's AI guide that will teach you a lot about AI that you need to know for your career, because everybody is going to be required to learn how to work at a basic level with AI during their career starting in the next 5 years. This is going to hit everybody. So go on and learn about it and be ahead of the curve. Today we're going to talk about a huge announcement from Google this past week at their I/O Programmers Conference. And the announcement is that Google is opening a new quantum AI computing center in Santa Barbara. Now, they already have a small one with a few dozen people working there, but this is much bigger. It's going to be hundreds and hundreds of people working there. And this is going to drive quantum computers forward. So Google has stiff competition, right? Recently, we did a video about IBM and their efforts, and Honeywell just bought a quantum computing company. So it's sort of coalescing into a few really big companies who are going to try to dominate this entirely new field of computing. And the reason why is it takes big money to do quantum computing. Quantum computers right now are at their beginning. They're still research projects. They don't work, even though Google and UCSB at their existing campus 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, achieved quantum supremacy, meaning that they solved a problem that traditional computers either could not solve or would take at least 10,000 years to solve. So there has been some progress, but one of the big problems with quantum computers is errors, because quantum states are very fragile. And I've done other videos about this. I'm not going to get as technical in this one because I won't have time. But it's easy to disrupt a quantum computing process. So Google's goal with this new quantum computing AI center is to build a error-tolerant quantum computer. And this is what they estimate. Google's most powerful quantum computer to date, and I would guess that IBM and Honeywell are about the same point of development, is a dozen or so qubits in their computer. Google is thinking big. What they are doing is they believe that in order to create a fault-tolerant quantum computer, they're going to have virtual logical qubits composed of 1,000 physical qubits. And then to have a useful computer, they will have to have 1,000 of the virtual qubits, which equals 1 million physical qubits. And they're hoping to do this by 2029, the end of this decade. I've told you that huge changes are coming this decade that are going to profoundly change society. And this is one element of it. Because first, Google believes within a year or two, they'll reach fault tolerance. And part of this new facility is building their own quantum computers. They've been outsourcing it, but they're bringing it in-house because they think they can iterate faster. And they're probably right. But in any event, a fault-tolerant computer of even only 1,000 qubits will be much more stable and reliable than anything that's ever existed with quantum computers. And then the next step beyond that is having a functional quantum computer that will solve real-world problems. And this is research in medicine for what causes certain diseases. So this is modeling proteins and stuff like that. It's creating cures or treatments for currently intractable diseases. And it's also, which I've talked about before, building wholly new materials. So there's a complete materials revolution underway, and it's going to accelerate dramatically the rest of this decade. A lot of materials that are in common use today will be replaced by brand new materials invented through AI and quantum computing. So this was huge news. This is a monster investment. It's in Santa Barbara, California. The reason why is because at UCSB is the federal government's quantum computing center. And so it's a logical place. That's where all the researchers are, and that's where Google's smaller facility already is. In other big news from I/O, Google I/O, they have come up with new GPUs. So neural nets were made to work by much better computer processors called GPUs, which were invented for gaming, principally by NVIDIA. But now Google has invented a TPU level 4, which they say is far, far more powerful than the existing TPU level 3. They call it TensorFlow, and this will dramatically accelerate Google's development and deployment of AI. So 2 huge pieces of news this year at Google I/O 2021. Again, the rest of this decade is going to be absolutely stunning. So thanks for tuning in. Click the link below, get your free AI beginners resource, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And also support us on Patreon. $1 a month will make a difference if a few of you do it. And there's a small problem with the account right now, but I'll have it fixed later today. Thank you, take care, and we appreciate you being here. We're doing this for you, for young people ages 18 to 34 whose careers are going to be dominated by AI. Thanks, take care, bye.